Welcome to another edition of the Nightly News, Ted. Some of our best material is before we roll. But listen, yesterday we talked about Paul Pelosi getting hammered in his underpants in San Francisco. And, you know, the media is in a big uproar about that. I think it's kind of interesting because, you know, Brett Kavanaugh, Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh, had all those people out in front of his house, had a guy coming trying to kill him, and mainstream media poo-pooed that away. I actually happened to be in an event staying in the same hotel as Rand Paul when all of us were accosted, and Nancy Pelosi's daughter said, hey, look, she actually celebrated Rand Paul getting beat. I just think it's a hypocrisy going on in mainstream media and in social media circles. But that ties right into what I want to get with you today. Elon Musk now owns Twitter. We've noticed a lot of big changes in Twitter. I'm sure you've seen your numbers rise. My numbers at one time were at 35,000 Keith Mark MRA, and then they went down to like 10,000. And so now maybe we're going to get a free and fair town square in Twitter. Time will tell. But I'm encouraged because I'm sure you saw this, Ted. President Biden put out a falsehood on Twitter and was immediately fact-checked by Elon Musk himself, which I found very encouraging for free speech, which matters a lot to me. So what's your take on Twitter, the ability to speak freely in the public square?
Well, obviously, number one, the founding fathers wrote down that the king can't censor us. The king can't control our religious choices or non-religious choices. The king can't allow his jackbooted thugs to come into our homes without probable cause. I mean, the king can't keep us from protesting immoral, illegitimate, wrong decrees. That's the First Amendment. So obviously, I don't really even have to comment because everybody knows they've been paying attention to Ted Nugent. I am exactly what the founding fathers wanted every American to be. Let me repeat that for people that are going, well, that's outrageous. My name is Ted Nugent. I am exactly what the founding fathers wanted every American to be. Critical thinking, suspicious of all authority, and hold my elected employees constitutionally accountable to the very spirit of those unambiguous words that we will find in the sacred Bill of Rights. People might want to record that. So what we're dealing with right now, and I got to tell you, I'm a critical thinker. I'm suspicious of everything. I have goodwill and good spirit. I have positive energy and attitude, and I'm basically an uppity guitar playing, backstrapping daddy. I'm having the most wonderful hunting season of my life. I'm so happy I could squirt through the nightly news apparatus and stain your blue dress. Point being is that I improvise, adapt, and overcome, but my pulse is the pulse of great American families that share a Ted Nugent spirit of the wild campfire every weekend. And when I say the following, my words have iron. Yes, we are experiencing a hiccup where the shackles have come off and we are experiencing non-censored communication, at least on Twitter, for the moment. But I am extremely suspicious of Elon Musk. Has he done some great things? I think the fact that he fact-checked and put their own little dirty game back on those who created the dirty game, especially the commander-in-chief, syllable challenged goofball who thinks he's the president. So that was a good gesture, a good moment, a good indicator. But my friends, remain vigilant. Remain suspicious. Elon Musk has a vapor trail of globalist connections. So with that in mind, do not be confused by what Mr. Left Hand is doing, because Mr. Right Hand may be grabbing you by the posterior. That's a little word of wisdom from the guitar player who practices the most deep and thoughtful Zen every night with sharp sticks in a tree stand. And I think I'm a critical thinker. And if you've noticed, at 74 years clean and sober, the syllables flow like manna from heaven, because I've been clean and sober for 74 years. My brain works, and my brain has a great relationship with Mr. Mouth, and everybody in America should exercise Mr. Mouth and Mr. Brain, at least approaching the velocity and accuracy of the Motor City Madman. Do you think you can all do that? By the way, Keith, thank you and Josh and Tim and everybody out there witnessing my loud mouth right now, because now people are going, Nugent's got this nightly Nuge, and he's right. I went back and listened to him 50 years ago on the Letterman show. He was right then. I am genuflecting at the altar of self-evident truth, logic, and common sense. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Join me at the Ted Nugent Real America's Voice Spirit Campfire and on our Spirit of the Wild television show going to Pursuit Channel in January, because I'm always like this. I'm engaged. God gave me the gift of life and the divine intervention of the Founding Fathers' sacred documents and pillars for the only experiment in self-government in the history of the human experience. And I would like people to turn up the heat. This is a culture war turned spiritual war. Put on the armor of God and join me at tednugent.com and around my various electronic campfires, because truth, logic, and common sense is the only ammo that will save this American experiment.
Ted, we're 1 week away. 1 week from today, the nation's going to decide which major party has the right idea going forward. I suggest they all go to huntthevote.org. All of our listeners, huntthevote.org. Pledge that you're going to vote, make a plan to vote, and please, please go cast your vote, as Ted says, for all of those good things that he mentions and against evil. Ted, tomorrow night, I want to talk about the nightly Nuge being censored. It's crazy. But lots to talk about on the Nightly Nuge tomorrow night, right here where there is absolutely no fake news.
Freedom!